Okay, sir.
Switch on the camera. Now it's Vanshika's turn.
Switched on, sir.
Vanshika, please switch on the camera and start with your turn.
Sir, am I audible and visible both? Hello.
Are you ready, Vanshika?
Yes, sir. Am I audible and visible both?
Are you ready?
Hello.
No, you're not visible, although you are audible.
Sir,
You're
I've switched
audible, but
on
not
my
visible.
camera also.
Sir, she is visible to me.
Shall I switched on the camera again. Is sir there in the meeting? I don't think sir is there. Hello.
You are visible. Okay, Vanshika, ready? Shall
Okay,
we
sir.
start? So, Vanshika is now going to speak on the latest Supreme Court verdict that sex work is a profession and that should be recognized. And Vanshika has been given the task of speaking against the judgment. Pranjal, are you ready with the topic? Pranjal, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to speak in favor of Supreme Court judgment? Or against?
So I'll speak against it.
Against. Fine. Baneet, you have to speak in favor of it. You have time. Okay, you can prepare through Google also. Okay. And
Yes, sir.
after Vanshika, it will be Pranjal who will speak and then Baneet. Vanshika, it's your turn now. Start the debate.
A very good evening to all of you. Today, I, Vanshika, am here to present my speech against the topic which relates to the recognition of prostitution as a profession and relates to the Supreme Court giving it a thumbs up as a work. So, the day 27th May 2022 was a very historic day in the political history of India, as a verdict came from a 3-judge bench which was headed by Justice L. Nageshwar Rao along with B.R. Gavai and A.S. Bopanna. This bench issued a slew of directions in which the prostitutes under the judgment are entitled to dignity under Article 21 and equal protection of law. Under this, the prostitutes cannot be arrested, penalized, harassed, or victimized by the police. It also asked the media to take utmost care not to reveal the identities of these prostitutes. It also said that voluntary work by these people is not illegal, but running the brothel is unlawful. Further, it prohibited forcible separation of the children of these workers. The order also stated that if a minor is found living in a brothel, it should not be presumed that he or she has been trafficked. The word equal, which I said in one of my earlier sentences, that equal protection of law, implies something very important. It states the equalization of these kind of people to the people involved in other professions. Moreover, prostitution in India is governed by 3 major laws. The first is Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. The second is Indian Penal Code under Section 377 and the Juvenile Justice Act. But in respect to this, I completely reject, disagree, and feel disappointed to know about the judgment of the Supreme Court. Let me now brief you on this very deep and a judgment that will degrade India's ancient culture, its values, the traditions, and the age-old roots which we have been living on. So, let me define the word prostitute. A prostitute is a person who is involved in a sexual activity and is voluntarily involved to earn money out of it. A prostitute who is solicited by men has a complete and a profound story of grief. I sometimes wonder how many lives have been ruined for this. People, especially girls or women, they go for searching a job in megacities and finally end up performing this, which is usually entitled as the most painful life. People, especially girls again, are intoxicated sometimes. And some girls who aspire to be a teacher, a doctor, a professor are trafficked and they're forcefully made engaged in this vicious cycle, which will in sometimes prove detrimental to the health of the society. Education, awareness, employment. These are the three things which we common people talk about. But this is what we are doing and encouraging the youth to pursue in future. The children of these people also feel insecure. They feel helpless. They feel ashamed of themselves, and they are not also able to complete their education because they have that sense of insecurity while they go to school. How can we expect these children to be engineers and doctors while seeing this? To sum up, this actually means this judgment by the Supreme Court. It actually means introducing our daughters with a new profession, which they can be involved in if they do not get good scores or do not have a job in their hands. This is what we are teaching to our next generation and giving a simple yet brutal way to shatter their lives. Therefore, I stamp 27th May 2022 as a black day in the political history of India. Thank you.
Very good. Worth appreciation. Very good viewpoint kept before all by Vanshika, which deserves a round of applause.
Thank you.
Very good, Vanshika. So next is the turn of Pranjal. Pranjal, now it's your turn. You have to switch on your camera and speak. Start.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Today I'll be speaking on the topic whether sex work should be legalized in India or not. So, basically, there was a law. Basically, according to the government, government has ordered that a law should be passed for legalizing the sex work in India till 27th of July, and they have kept in mind all the benefits, all the pros and the cons of legalizing the sex work in India. But what I personally feel is that it should not be legalized because the very first reason can be that there is no guarantee that it will stop the human trafficking. So human trafficking is a very big cause, a very big issue in India, especially in India. And even if we legalize the sex work, it's not we are not sure about the fact that it will stop human trafficking. The second point can be that that it will not promote the health of the women. The women who are prostitutes, who are the sex workers, who work at the brothels, it's not we cannot be sure about them that that it will not promote, that it will that it will improve the health of the woman, and day by day the cases of such diseases like AIDS may increase, and the prostitution may also increase the child prostitution. So basically child prostitution is something like if a mother is a prostitute in a brothel, then it might also happen that their children who may get encouraged by it, and a child may also become a prostitute. Adultery would also increase severely, and there it will put a bad impact on children. It will the legalizing the sex work in India will also make the will also take down the morality of the sex workers. Scheduled as a solid youth, and whenever they step them with a different point of view, so not only the because of their mothers, but then the place where they live would also affect how the world looks at them, and they would also get an identity which is not a normal as compared to the other human beings. So legalizing the sex work in India would be not a great decision, but because it would not only affect the prostitutes but also their children and other family members. So I am against this statement, and I think it should not be legalized. Thank you.
Please let me have you. Hello. Yeah, Prajal. It was good. Baneet, it's your turn now. Are you
Yes, sir.
ready? Start.
Mhm.
Switch on your camera. Let's start.
So first of all, I would say uh, that sex workers, they do not opt for this profession willingly. There are many reasons for them to opt for this profession. According to Open Society Foundation, individuals participate in sex work for a variety of reasons. Many choose to participate in sex work to explore and express their sexuality, while others participate in sex work due to its flexibility working conditions. Some individuals don't have the luxury of choice and pursue sex work due to poverty, inadequate education, or lack of an economically viable job. These circumstances and reasons paint a picture of a very diverse group of people whose work influences their lives in a multitude of ways. You may be wondering how one can be respectful and take action regarding the support of sex workers. Remember, first and foremost, that many sex workers have agency over their bodies. Monica Shores wrote about the importance of letting a sex worker decide for themselves whether or not they have been coerced or forced into sex work. Shores also advised against using terminology such as used goods or prostituted when discussing the body of a sex worker. Degrading language like this implies a sex worker is dirty, which is extremely alienating. So, from these things, you might be understanding that that sex workers are also humans like other people. Using such terminology such as used goods or prostitutes and defaming them in the public is not a good thing. A popular argument those that are against sex work propose is that the criminalization of sex work will eliminate the issue, and that keeping prostitution out of sight and out of mind will solve the supposed problem of sex workers on the street. Sex work, however, cannot be criminalized without violating human rights. According to the Open Society Foundations, if sex work were to be criminalized, it would drive sex work underground. Further, abuses that may not be recognized by law enforcement. So, according to me, all the above statements that I've said, that the prostitutes are referred by the bad names or they are defamed in the society and they're not treated as normal humans. So, by keeping everything in the mind, I think the judgment which was given to respect the sex workers is completely and it is for the betterment of the society because they are to be treated as normal humans and they are in this profession because of many reasons, and their work should be treated as any other work. So,
Great. Very good, Bunny. So, in the end, to summarize, looking at the current scenario, of course, the grounds that Supreme Court has given that because sex workers are also females, and looking at Indian traditions, we look at the concept that God is everywhere. In every human being, there is a God. Okay, and it is to some extent failure of state also, that state failed to provide them good education and then good means of livelihood, due to which quite possible they might have been left with no other option other than getting into prostitution. So these are a few things which should be kept in mind. Of course, if it is legalized, that it would lead to, automatically it will lead to its promotion as well. Many new problems will crop up, like pornography, advertisement of the same, soliciting customers, okay, and of course sexually transmitted disease, AIDS. There are so big problems that can arise if this thing is promoted. Fine. Anything else? Any student would like to keep any idea in front of others, or should I put this to an end? Okay.
Sir, we have already put up.
Very fine. So here we end the debate. It was a nice debate, and ideas from you people are praiseworthy. Bye-bye. See you.